The second semi-final match of the tournament Battle of Shen-Tiandi features DasFvomEi, who was ranked number 1 in the leaderboard throughout the season and was alternating between the elements metal and wood, before then deciding to stay in wood and fine-tuning his deck. He is playing against Alice, who although being placed low on the ladder has some impressive wins in his belt, thanks to his controlling and impressive game style with water. In the first game, DasFvomEi manages to get his Lilia and recruits a token to gain might as well as board presence. Alice plays Lina to get the blockade Red Blooming Lake, which she places in front of the token, now matching the number of bodies on the field as well as might points. DasFvomEi gets another Lilia on the board, who recruits a token through her ability. At the battle start, as he now has 4 might, he can get armor on his units through the ability of his Emperor. In his battle phase, the token attacks a blockade, with then Lilia taking the finishing blow. Alice plays a mine in front of Lina and uses strong water current to force Lilia to walk into his mine, triggering freezing trap and damaging her. With the mine being triggered, he can use the ability of Sleeping Sturgeons to extra recruit it. Now that Lilia is in front of Lina, she can finish her off, while being in a safe distance from the attack of DasFvomEi's unit. With his Earth Gate now active, Fi activates his order card, Flower of Vitality, to heal his Lilia and draw cards. With enough HP, Lilia can now get another token on the field, placing it in front of Lina to restrict her movement. With his normal recruit, he gets Lilia and moves his active tokens forwards on the sidelines. Alice then plays another mine, planting it deeper into DasFvomEi's territory. He then ranks up his Sturgeon to Baiwu Shui's might to nullify the ability of Lilia, so she cannot recruit more tokens. His units attacks the tokens, however the armor counters keep them alive. DasFvomEi changes the cycle to Destruction to get his Metal Gate, which allows him to rank up his unit to Lolo, the Rose side, playing another Flower of Vitality, healing Lilia and giving him cards. With his surviving token, he moves to Alice's base and takes the first soul of the game, while the other tokens attacks his units. Alice goes for Yao and Gora to activate her ability and draw a card. With a strong water current, the middle token gets pushed a tile back to prevent it from reaching the base next turn. Yao and Gora then goes for the kill on the token at the base, while Baiwu goes for the kill of the other side token. Due to the token being destroyed, Lulu activates his ability, allowing him to draw a card for each destroyed token. DasFvomEi recruits Hundun and changes to the battle phase to move his units and weakens Baiwu with their attacks. Alice sets up another mine in front of Rose side, restricting her movement, and plays Raging Freezing Winds on the newly set mine to deal burn damage to the surrounding units. Yao Goro then goes and takes care of the weakened token, allowing DasFvomEi drawing another card with Rose side's ability. Baiwu moves forward and attacks Hundun with her AoE, while also damaging Rose side. DasFvomEi changes again to the Destruction cycle to get his Water Gate and plays Molecular Exchange to swap his Beetle for Vivia and add to his hand. He then extra recruits her with her guard trait and recruits Slasher Mantis with his normal recruit. Next to Yao and Goro, he places his own field card, gaining more space in the battlefield and preventing Yao and Goro to get near Lilia. In his battle phase, Hundun takes out Baiwu, while Rose side dishing out damage, and Lilia nearing the enemy base. Alice plays Blessing of the Dragon to draw 3 cards. He is playing a blockade to prevent Lilia from reaching the base and making her stuck in place. He plays Lina to search for another field card. With 12 might and above, he then can now ascend his Emperor and place it on the field. With her ascended ability, she made Lilia crashes into his own blockade, Red Blooming Lake, to deal 4 collision damage through its ability. Yao and Goro, with an empowered attack, can now take out Rose side, managing to keep DasFvomEi offense in check. With having less cards on the field, DasFvomEi used the guarded trait from his detonating Beetle to extra recruit it and rank up Lilia to his Sting, the Spider Demon. Viva and Hundun then teams up to attack Yao and Goro. However, it was not enough damage to defeat her. Spider Demon then takes out the blockade to step into the base. Alice in his round plays strong water current to move Spider Demon away from his base. He then ranks up his Lina to Yuli, Water Sorceress, which allows him to add the destroyed blockade back to his hand. In order to stop the Spider Demon to step into the base to make a direct attack, he places a mine in front of her. Yuli then proceeds to destroy FMI's blockade to get near the Spider Demon. The Ascended Water Emperor then destroys Hundun, which triggers its death ability to recruit a token in its place. Yaongora then finishes off the newly recruited token, slowly regaining control back from his side of the field. Not having an ideal hand, FMI extra recruits Little Hudia by destroying a token, which allows him to draw an extra card. As he knew from experience that the mine will not be able to kill Spider Demon, he takes the risk and steps onto the mine, therefore triggering it. With the mine being triggered, Alice can extra recruit a Sleeping Sturgeon from hand. DasFvomEi then went for the direct attack, leaving Alice with only one soul left. Beaver then goes back to defend his base away from the attack range of Alice's units to prevent him from gaining more might. As FMI only need to attack directly next turn, he only have to fear for Yuli, as Sleeping Sturgeon will be idle. Therefore he placed Pagoda of Li Jing on top of Yuli, preventing it from moving and attacking next turn, guaranteeing him to take another soul. Nonetheless, having gained might points through destroying the units from FMI, Alice is only 2 might points away from victory. However, being not able to gain 2 mights by destroying FMI's unit or from his Emperor, he does also not manage to prevent a direct attack from the Spider Queen. Therefore, Alice forfeits the first game, making FMI the close winner of Game 1. Game 2 starts with the FMI recruiting the Sledia and activating her ability to recruit a token. Alice also starts strong with Lina, allowing him to get the blockade, Hedong Ice River, and then place the blockade Red Looming Lake. FMI then gets his Earth Gate to activate the order card Flower of Vitality to heal his Lydia and draw 2 cards, so she can activate her ability again to recruit another token. He then uses his normal recruit to get Hundun. With his token, he attacks Alice's blockade. Alice puts down a mine, restricting the movement of Fai's token to have 2 or more field cards on the field, so he can draw 3 cards with Breathing of the Dragon. The Red Blooming Lake blockade grants Lina 3 armor, so he can safely move her up. In Fai's turn, he switches to the battle phase. With the ability of the Emperor, all his units with 3 HP or less gain armor. Then the token takes down the blockade, while the other token moves in front of Lina to damage her. Alice ranks up Lina to Baiwu, nullifying Lilia's ability so she cannot recruit tokens anymore, and defeats the token on his side. As a reaction, Fai plays Return to Nature to draw 2 cards. Fai then offers 2 might points to change the cycle to Destruction to get his Metal Gate, so he has a gate requirement to rank up Lydia to Rose side. He then moves his unit forward to deal damage to Baiwu. Alice recruits Illyria, which heals Baiwu, and then places another mine to cut off Rose side, and forming a barrier between them. Baiwu destroys the token, which triggers Rose side's ability to draw a card. As Fai has fewer cards on the field than Alice, he can extra recruit both of his Detonating Beetle due to their guard ability, while also being able to recruit another Rosa on top of Hundun. He then places his own field card between his own unit and Baiwu, so that it cannot reach her, while attacking Illyria. Fai was contemplating whether he should trigger the mine in front of Rosa to get to Baiwu. From experience, he knows that the mine can only do a maximum of 5 damage to him, which Rosa would survive. Therefore he triggers the mine, which was indeed Explosive Frost Charge, dealing 5 damage. As the mine was triggered, Alice was allowed to recruit Sturgeon from his hand. Next to a mine, he placed deep into Fai's territory. As Roseside survived the mine, he can now attack and damage Baiwu, bringing her down to 3 health. Alice plays Shrey's Power Channeling. Although he did not have any strong water currents in his below, after playing the blockade, Hedong Ice River to the field, Baiwu deals with Roseside, and taking a tile being 1 step away from Fai's base. FMI activates Molecular Restructuring to get Mantis by shuffling back Kira, and recruits it in front of Baiwu, defending the base. His Roseside then takes out Illyria and steps into Alice's base. Alice gets his Fire Gate and plays Blessing of the Drain to draw 3 cards. Now that FMI has more cards on the field, Alice can use the guard ability of Water Spirit of the Sea to extra recruit it and pushes Roseside out of his base. He uses the ability of Water Spirit to push Roseside and have her collide with Sturgeon to damage her. Due to his Emperor's ability, he does not receive any damage from the collision. With his normal recruit, he ranks up the Sturgeon to another Baiwu, which negates the ability of Mantis. Now it cannot use its ability to trigger the death ability of the Detonating Beetle. By activating Raging Freezing Wind and targeting his mine, He deals an AoE damage to all of FMI's unit. With the activation of Strong Water Current, he then pushes Sorrow's side into its own blockade, dealing damage and destroying both of them. With his Baiwu, he destroys the detonating beetle, which retaliates on death, dealing damage back. He contemplated to use his blockade to evade Mantis and land a direct hit of the 5th soul, but at the end decides to weaken Mantis instead. Fai uses his last detonating beetle in its guard tray to push Baiwu away from the base, while his Mantis destroys Alice Baiwu. Alice recruits Yaongora to draw cards with the ability and draw further cards with Blessing of the Drain. To cut off detonating beetle from entering the base, he plays Red Blooming Lake in front of it. Mantis then gets pushed into Alice's blockade with Strong Water Current, dealing fatal collision damage to his unit. With Alice already at 19 might and FMI frontline unit being destroyed or trapped, it does not look good for him. He has to prevent Alice from gaining its final bite point, in this case taking care of Baiwu. With Guoyin recruited, the ability increases the damage output of detonating beetle, which is then able to destroy Baiwu. Nonetheless, it was not enough, as Alice has another field kill in hand. By placing it on the field, he gains another 2 might, therefore winning the second round. In the final round, Alice starts off with recruiting Lina to get the mine Explosive Frost Charge. He then plays the blockade Red Blooming Lake to gain 2 mines. Fai however had an unfortunate start as he could not play anything and had to pass. Alice uses his momentum to further his advantage by playing Sleeping Sturgeon and plays a mine on the surrounding tile, gaining another 2 might, while walling off his side of the field. He then plays Blessing of the Drain to draw 3 more cards. Fai turned his Fire Gate into an Earth Gate, who were only able to recruit his detonating beetle. Alice plays Water Spirit and uses his ability to push his Lina up a tile, and then places another mine in front of his Sleeping Sturgeon, sealing off his right side of the field. With the attack of Sleeping Sturgeon, he pushes his mine towards Fai's base, while Lina attacks the beetle. With his Fire Gate now active, Fai can now rank up his beetle to his Forest Guardian to recruit a token. By playing the Flower of Vitality, he heals his Forest Guardian back to full health. Alice plays another blockade, Red Blooming Lake, to block the path of the token and recruits his Baiwu. However, she does not have a good target for ability. Nonetheless, through the rank up, it increases the health and attack of his front unit. With Strong Water Current, Alice pushes the token against the blockade, which destroys the token through the amplified collision damage, leaving Alice with 9 might points, nearing the half mark. Fai responds by playing Return to Nature to draw himself 2 cards. With Sleeping Sturgeon, he pushes his other blockade closer to Fai's base, gaining more and more territory for himself. FMI activates Molecular Restructuring to exchange his Sundun with Vivia the Butterfly. Through her guard trait, she can be extra recruited to his base, as Alice currently has more cards on the field. He then normally recruits Lilia, who can get him another token. With the ability of his Emperor, his units receive armor and then uses Vivia to heal his other units to full health. As Vivia is an integral part of Fai's strategy, which has to be dealt with, Alice had the option to push the Red Blooming Lake into Vivia with the attack of Sleeping Sturgeon to deal 4 collision damage and weaken her. As she is stuck, there were no good escape route for Vivia in this scenario. However, Alice plays the blockade Ice River, which not only increases the might gap between them, but also allows Water Spirit to go through the blockade and defend the other side if necessary, while Baiwu can attack Fengbo and back up the front line. FMI, having close to no space on the side, used another guard trait ability to recruit Vivia and recruits his other Lilia, which can recruit a token on the field, slowly building board presence. He moves up Fengbo to attack Baiwu, while Vivia attacks the enemy blockade. As Fengbo freed up his tile, Vivia can then move to the free tile, leaving a space for Lilia to take and destroy the blockade, gaining needed territory. He uses token to activate the mine Alice plays, which triggers Freezing Trap. It deals damage and freezes the token, making it idle. However, the position gets changed back at the end of Fai's turn. It currently is a war of territory and nutrition. To gain more advantage, Alice plays Yuli, Water Sorceress, on top of his Sturgeon to get his blockade, Red Blooming Lake, back from his below. He then plays the blockade between Vivia and the token, splitting them up. Sleeping Sturgeon then pushes the blockade Ice River into Lilia to deal 2 collision damage. then destroys the token with Yu Li, while Baiwu deals AoE damage to the enemy units. Fai switches to destruction by spending 2 mites to get his metal gate. As his Lilia are not able to recruit any tokens, he rank up one of his Lilia to reach Xing, the spider demon, a strong unit so he can try and break through Alice's defense, while his Vivier heals his unit back to full health. Xing destroys the blockade in front of her, while Fengbo finally defeats Baiwu. Having now several units in front of his base, Alice must play a unit and a field card to the base to keep them from entering. Due to the high pressure, unfortunately there was a small misplay from Alice, where Xing was not taken down by a double attack with the water spirit, as it only moved back to give space for Yu Li. However, through the attack ability of Yu Li, which forces movement, Xing collides with Fengbo, damaging both units. FMI plays Little Hudia by sacrificing one of his tokens, which allows him to draw a card. He repeats this again by sacrificing the newly recruited unit for another Little Hudia, allowing him to draw another card. With his normal recruit, he recruits Xing and sacrifices health to recruit a token on top of the mine, triggering it. Then he uses Xing's ability to destroy the recruited token, which not only increases the attack of Xing, but also free up the base tile for Lilia to land a direct hit. As Alice has 0 cards in hand and was in a disadvantage, she decides to concede and give FMI a win. It was a highly intense match, which demanded everything from both contestants. Alice nearly won the game with mild points by holding his defense, while FMI uses every resource he has to break it down little by little. At the end, FMI emerges as the victor of the match and moves towards the final, facing his next opponent, Evo, and his Fox Demons. Stay tuned for the finals. If you want to see more matches, considering leaving a like and comment down below what your favorite moments and plays were so far. See you next time. Bye.